go, I would like this whole forum to be relaxed and very informal, okay? Relax your muscles, relax your shoulder, because you have come all the way to learn. My friend came from Abhijit from Delhi. You know, let's make this whole session very casual, very informal, because we are here to learn. We need to get back. When you go back, I'm sure someone is going to ask you, what did you learn today? What is the takeaway? Okay, Srini, I'm going to grill you. Can you come front? Okay, because we are too early. We're supposed to start the next session at 12:15. So I want to, buy the time. And I want everyone to ask him a question. I will begin with a question. Srini, I don't know whether you observed my statement. I said, the global study revealed over 68% of security breaches go undetected for weeks. Okay, that's one. India alone, over 1,500 crores is lost annually. 1,500 crores lost annually due to security lapses and preventable incidents. In both, it is physical and cyber. The more important again, 800, the video surveillance, the traditional video surveillance that you see, generate over 800 hours of footage per camera per month. I'll repeat, 800 hours of footage per camera per month. And barely 1% of it is reviewed unless there is a crisis. Now, the question to you is, we don't know what kind of infrastructure we have. We are building it up. Data centers are coming left, right, here and there. Is this, like if you look at the storages, if one camera is taking 800, I don't know how many lakhs of cameras there in the country, both public sector, the government, the private. If someone wants to review 2 years back and learn something that, okay, I'm not going to give away those incidents, what did we learn out of those incidents? A corporate company may want to investigate and see what the security manager or security CEOs are, whether did we learn something, are we interpreting? Can you get those data of 2 years back? Is still there or not? Can we use this AI generator, as you said, just type where Mr. Dominic was there, particular month, how many times he went around to the airport, how many airport did he visit? Investigation can be plenty. So how do you think that old traditional cameras, incident happening, 1,500 crores being lost, how are we going to, improve upon the traditional camera to the new generative AI? Over to you.
Right. It's an excellent question, Dominic. You always give challenges to the people, so it's one of them. See, the primary thing is it's a catch-up game. So either it is police and thief scenario, like what Gary has said, there is so much of gap. From technology to what we are doing right now is always a catch-up game. So what is lost, but the point remains is, are you keeping the storage as physical video, or are you, it's a decision of somebody's, right? So you can store the data, video, maybe for 6 months, maybe for 8 months, or maybe for 9 months. One of our customer with 480 locations, around 5,000 cameras, we are streaming into the cloud, into the Azure, and retaining the full video for 180 days. That's a requirement of that customer.
That is 6 months.
Yes, 6 months. And that involves cost. They are willing to pay because they have some kind of a requirement that actually demands it, right? Okay, the second aspect is you said like 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, right? What we have designed in our system is if the events are getting generated out of the video, right? Our generative AI is monitoring the continuous situation and it knows the scenario that is happening. So if the camera is there, it is actually recording in a plain English. The white car is going, one person is standing, the blue shirt person is lying down on the street. So this information is captured as a plain text, right? So that is actually stored as metadata. We're not storing the real video for very long, right? When you want to do further analysis, what you are doing is you are actually doing further analysis on a specific base information on this metadata, not on the video. It's more or less the same, right? But this is not for evidence management because video is lost. If the video is lost, you don't have the evidence. That is gone. This is only for the purpose of analysis for the future. So if an industry, a factory, just I'll take an example, if the forklift management is done, right? If the health of that scenario, occupational safety, where the accident prevention scenarios are what is actually defined by the system for that factory purpose, that data is stored there. The forklift is going on a straight path, forklift is going on a left path, where it is going on a non-intrusion based areas. All this information is kept in the system, right? So tomorrow, if the, some analysis want to do on occupational safety, all that you are doing is for the last 3 years in my factory floor, how is the, patterns of my forklifts moving around? And in that process, you also may see some of the accidents that happen, right?
Yeah.
So based on that, you can do the predictive analysis and preventive mechanism for the future, where this forklift, if it goes onto the left side of my zone, is where the accidents happen, right? That's the prevention. Okay. So, like you said, the money lost is lost. Still, we are at a catch-up. I didn't answer about that 1,500 crores, right?
Yeah.
Or 15,000 crores, whatever it is,
yeah.
right? So this is a catch-up game. This is a catch-up game where the technology is building and the further analysis are happening, and you can use it for whatever the purpose. All the times that we ask is the customer questions, right? We don't want to implement our solution straight away and say, I have a VMS, I have analytics, do you want to use it? That's not the question I want to ask. Exactly what happened in the last 6 months, what you actually envision to prevent or envision to see implemented for next 3 years is what my question is. Based on that, we do the customization. We don't want to sell the box. If the box VMS or if the box analytics are given, 90% of the time they are not useful to anybody. Right? True. So either I have to customize an analytic and give it to somebody, or I have to ask them and say, this is what exactly they want, and then modify the system. No system has to be black box. If the system is a black box, if it doesn't take input, or if it doesn't give you output, then you are lost in the middle, right? So that's why we opened up inbound APIs and outbound APIs. So whatever the data you want to send it to us, we do take. Whatever the data that you want to your subsystems or downstream systems, we actually send it to you so that you can analyze, right? So whether you have a SAP system or whether you have a homegrown visitor management system, I do the analysis in between and send data to you. So you can use it, right?
Yeah. I'll open the forum to others. One by one. Let's take 5, 6 questions. Yes, sir. Over to you, sir. Name and organization and to whom?
Yeah, myself Judson. I'm basically 37 years worked in aviation, airport industry. For the last 5 years, I'm with the...
Keep it closer.
No, you switched off, actually.
You keep it closer.
Is it okay?
Yeah.
Myself Judson. I worked 37 years in aviation industry, in airports. For the last 5 years, I'm with hospitals. I was really great, a commerce person with MBA talking about AI and NLP. Really, it is not going into my mind. That is the first thing. And the video analytics surveillance, we have done it in airports. And now we are using that NLP, we are bringing it in a picture. When my son, he wanted to do a PhD in NLP in CMU, I was wondering what he is going to do it. But the NLP was really amazing it. And you are linking this, your surveillance system with housekeeping. I mean, that is also a thing. Did you done it in airports? FOD is one of the biggest safety concerns on the runways. Did you done it? And one more last question. You have told that one chat GPT question will consume so much of power. So in future, a question will be, unless you pay them, you will not be answered. Is it going to come like that? Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Sir, it's already, you need to pay 2,000 rupees per month if you want to have unlimited usage of ChatGPT. So, if you start aggressively using it in a day, it will say that please wait until 3 hours and then you will be activated. That's already there in the system right now. So it's a cookie that has been given to us, right? We are enjoying it. Tomorrow you have to pay for it, or sooner or later you have to pay for it. So the question you mentioned about is whether we have integrated any facilities management scenarios into our system. Like I said, everything is customized in our system. It's a basic fundamental video VMS and analytics and generative AI is fully built into the system. But there is a requirement of environment that we do monitor and then create the scenarios for them and then integrate. We have no restriction in terms of integrating any kind of scenarios, any kind of devices, whether it is robots that take the data from us. In one of the examples, we have done a POC, we're still at a POC level. In a clean room, there is a small robot that actually does the scrubbing of the floor if the tablets fall on the floor, right? And it does 24/7 on a pattern based, it is actually doing the scrubbing. So the question to come to us was by the customer said, I don't want this to roam around continuously. All that I want is I have a camera in the room, make it as a grid. They didn't say the grid, but we use that language anyway, back to them. So exactly where the tablet has fallen, can you give the coordinates in that clean room? We did that, we given that so that it goes only once in a while and pick up that instead of scrubbing 24/7 on the floor. So these are kind of like involved decisions that we do with the customer so that budgets are controlled, cost is analyzed, and proper implementation is done basically based on what exactly they want. It's a target-based implementation. We don't want to do random implementation and ad hoc, expansions. So the answer is, if the airport is interested, we can actually do the development and deploy them within 3 weeks. So any kind of a new analytic that we want to build and deploy, it doesn't take more than 3 weeks to us. I'll give a small example since anyway you asked about the custom analytics. One of the sugarcane mill has come to us and said, we have a lot of problems with the falling objects from the tractors. The metal rods that goes into the conveyor belt are actually stopping the conveyor belt and damaging the crusher. So with the existing what they have cameras, we connect it to the cloud. From the cloud, we do the analysis and a return path is created back to the factory where if there is any foreign object other than sugarcane is there, we switch off the conveyor belt. And this is all happening through the cloud, not the edge device, right? So we're not doing on the edge, we're actually doing on the cloud. So for this, you still need GPUs. You cannot just do a low-end hardware. That's why progressively the cost, either GPUs has to come down or the investment from the customer side has to increase. So somewhere this both has to match.
Thank you. Thank you. Over to you, sir. Your name and...
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. This is Ram Mohan Namile. I have two questions. Number one is that what a machine can do, what a technology can do, no human should do it. With respect to this, where do we stand on 0 to 10 as a percentage when we reach the absolute position, means 100% we do not involve humans, where the machine and technology can do. Second one, there was a reference to classroom monitoring in the morning in one of the sessions. Now, taking this seminar as an example, we are all physically present, but some of us are not mentally present. Can AI measure the mental level participation of the participants, particularly in a classroom of students, either in schools or colleges? Thank you.
I'll take the first question later. I'll do the second question first. The behavior analysis has been the primary thing for many years, whether we are doing it or somebody else is doing it. Behavior analysis always been there. Whether you do the analysis of a driver who is actually sleepy, or whether the student who is having attention deficit, these things are already there, been worked out. But that is at a very minimalistic level, I would say. I don't want to jump the gun and say that is done at 100% level, right? But going to the generative AI, what we have seen is it is actually more effective than what our machine learning process that we have done and supervised learning that we have done into our systems. The generative AI is now catching up as a self-learning process. It is becoming more effective than what we have done in the development, right? So having said that, that's the secondary aspect. The question number one is followed to that, because if you see whether humans and machines, which one is superior? That question has been there for ages, right? I don't want to address it. Like he said, I'm not a pure technically educated person, but one thing we have seen is today, percentage-wise, the decision-making of the machines is actually getting much better. And the advantage for the machines is the back-end infrastructure. Tomorrow, if the quantum computing becomes cheaper, right, then one person's decision opportunity of a day can be done in few seconds by the machines. And are they self-aware? I don't know. I don't want to go into the ethical matter of the robots, ethical matter of the surveillance systems, ethical matters of generative AI as of now, because that's a whole lot different subject. But are they more getting learned and decision making is much better? Yes, it is getting better. Percentage-wise, I don't know.
Thank you. Thank you, Sreenivas. Actually, if you look at last year, 23, 24, we spoke about security 4.0. All about technology. 4.0 is nothing but we are talking about technology, AI, ML, all this about 4.0. Now we are talking about security 5.0. We are also doing construction 5.0 in Bangalore on June 6th. Blue and gray and focus. We are doing 5. What is this 5.0? 5.0 is combining the technology and the human. Is called 5.0. How the human resources are, enhance the skill, and how you implement the 4.0 is called 5.0. It's a combination of human and technology is 5.0. So I would request the gentleman who is holding the speaker, we can put a question to Srini.
Yeah. Thank you, Srini. I am Raghu from JP Morgan. Firstly, I am very passionate about use of AI, especially in the security field. But one basic question is that human capabilities or the sensors, especially the hearing sensor, can detect between 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz. There is a world before and beyond this, right? We are restricting the use of AI to something which we only know and trying to refine it further.
Correct.
So what is that scope which we need to explore, which is yet within not the spectrum of human understanding? And Dominic, sir, rather than knowing whether wife is happy or not, I would like to know what she knows about me. Thank you so much.
Yes, that's a good answer to Dominic. Dominic always goes there, so we step back when he starts that discussion. Anyway, see, that's a wonderful question, but there is a financial aspect that is, involved in that. Am I doing my organization has to survive like anybody's organization. So am I investing in that aspect which is got potential sometime later, or am I investing something which is actually addressed the question and the problem right now, right? So this dilemma always there in the R&D companies. Like, since 2014, we've been doing R&D in AI. And 2014, when we started office in, Hyderabad, we didn't even find a developer who is, AI thinking developers or, who got understanding of the AI. So we had to do a lot of, circus before, for 2 to 3 years before we got there. So today, the question you say, like the spectrum where we are concentrating is in between, which is only 25%. Actually, that is the one which is giving money. So before that, after that is what probably in the future. But right now, we don't have ability to invest on it unless some investment funds actually takes interest and then fund it. We cannot concentrate on those. That's my take on it.
One follow-up on this. So, due to the regulations or the laws coming in on data privacy and security, to what extent can organizations have the right over the data to use it, or it will fall into by default misuse the data? The example what you gave where the one of the factories where you had 5,000 cameras and all these things. So everything happening, though that is the proprietary space, but is the data equally proprietary, owned by the owner there?
So right now, ethically speaking, probably it is the ownership of the, that entity. Like when you go to a restaurant, the restaurant says, inside my restaurant you are coming and accepting my rules and regulations, which are not mentioned on the, wall, right? You don't know what those rules and regulations are. So that's been there for almost a decade, or an entire 100 years, where the restaurant industry has started. You've never seen any rules that is written on the wall, but you still go and say yes, right? The compliance is only one single line. It says you are complying to my rules, right? If you want to come step in, right? That's exactly how the data is right now. If you are coming into my premises, it's my factory, right? As a worker, you are coming into my factory. Right now, whatever the events that happen, whatever the activities that are happened is actually the data is mine, right? I am not liable to you to transfer the data or to delete the data. If you don't feel like coming into my premises, happy to be saying no to it, right? So it's all driven by the organizational rules at the workplace. And a lot of companies have come up with a lot of detailed analysis of what is actually accepted and what is not accepted, what is actually the data that we need to store and what doesn't need to be stored. That is actually left to the organizations as of now. But I would say it's a good thing to start as a conversation between all the higher policy makers at the decision-making level, at the government level, to see how to actually create these rules framed in a proper way so that the data collected is actually processed for the specific purpose, not for the abusive purpose. So the purpose of utilization is what is important. The data, underlying data is available anyway, right?